Every great city has its tales, and I've been documenting their stories and people for over 20 years. This is Tales of a City. Good evening and welcome to another season of Tales of a City. Tonight we're going to have a chat with an extraordinarily interesting and colourful man. It's been said that behind every great entertainer is a great agent, and one of the most colourful is Terry Linblom. What was your first job?
My first job as a kid, I started out. See, I come from a family of 9, and I was the second youngest. Right? So my first job was because I was dyslexic. Left school early, and my first job was was a truck driver. I was 16, and when I was 17, I started as a doorman, a bouncer. But my first job here was, but I had lots of jobs. You know, when you first you're a kid and you're a bit lost and you don't know what you're doing. I was all over the shops. That was my first job. Then I was a sort of security bouncer for 14 years, but then I ran the bouncers for the last 6, 7, 8 years of it. And I ran the Norwood Football Club for Sam's Discount, for John Winnie, Captain Norwood. When I was 17, I used to hold Johnny Farnham on stage at St Clair. We're the same age. Well, he sang, and you imagine this being top of the pops now, Sadie the cleaning lady, and I heard him on stage, to 4,000 screaming little girls. You know, I'm the same age. So he was about 7, I was 7. And imagine that being top of the pops now, Sadie the cleaning lady.
I imagine the biggest problems for security back then was screaming girls rather than drunks.
When you're that age with that sort of thing, yeah. I mean, oh no, don't worry, those kids aren't up, they wanted to fight in groups, and they'd attack you in groups, because it was down at St Clair.
Yeah. What time was your street like?
In the 70s, I was there from 1972 to 75. Well, it was bad, but there wasn't the drugs around now. The only drugs around was a bit of speed, mainly marijuana.
Yeah.
And we used to have all the drugs coming in off the boats and the ships and all those sort of people. We didn't have the flotsam and jetsam that you've got now. You know, the shark.
So you reckon it's worse now than it was back then?
Look, back in those days, you had a fight. Usually it was one out. These days, 10 of them bash up one person. They're high-fiving each other. I don't understand.
What was the progression going from security into the entertainment?
Well, I was, because I come, my oldest brother Kevin, or my oldest brother, my brother just older than me. He was a comedian, brilliant singer, voiceovers. He was one of the main floor show artists in Adelaide for many years. Him and Dave Flanning were the main two, but Kevin could play any instrument. Kevin could do anything except change a light bulb, pump the tyres up in your car. If you do anything entertainment-wise, if you ask me to do something like change a light bulb, you get this blank look on your face, like, what? So I come from a family in that background. So I started looking after Kevin when I was about 23, 24. And I just progressed from there. And then my young brother,
So Kev was your first client, really?
Well, Kevin was pretty big when I took him over. He was in a band, but he was doing floor shows and whatever.
Yeah.
And we were good mates. We were close family. And so I started in the entertainment business, and I understood the entertainment business. I always wanted to be, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a comedian. I didn't have the guts to do it. It's the bravest thing in the world to be a comedian, because when you're in a band, you're having a bad night, you can turn to the guys in the band and say, shit, we're having a bad night tonight. But when you're up there on your own, it's like prize fighting. If you're losing, you're losing. You've got no one to say, geez, there's a tough crowd, you're on your own.
Yeah, indeed.
I didn't have the guts.
Do you get a lot of musician artists that approach your agency for representation that you turn away?
Yep.
What's the criteria?
Talent.
Minor detail.
I've had, look, over the years, it's a bit like a Woody Allen movie.
All right, what about my one-legged tap dancer? Take him for a weekend. My one-legged... All right, my one-arm juggler.
Not for my hotel.
All right, what about Lou Canova? Lou Canova, my Italian singer, he'd be great.
Lou Canova's a dumb, fat, temperamental has-been with a drinking problem.
I've had people come in, this is years ago, this English bloke come in, you know, the sort of person that put a light shade in his head at a party and think he's funny, and his wife, and they decided to get into the business. He was going to put on wigs. He brought me a tape and showed me. He was going to put on a wig and play a tennis racket and impersonate Elvis Presley, mime it. She was going to do Marilyn Monroe or something else. You've never seen anything like it in your life. And these people are serious, you know. It's like having a stuttering ventriloquist. What are you talking about? You know? Some of the things that you actually, and they'll argue with you. And mothers with their kids, they are the worst.
Stage mothers.
Oh, stay away from them. But my daughter, over the years, you know, people have had big karaoke nights, they have big karaoke competitions, and they invite you to come and
judge them.
Yeah. And first thing I say is I'm not speaking to anyone about my decisions, right? And they'll come up to you. Always the mother. My daughter's better than that girl over there. Well, we've made our decision. That's. You know, but my daughter, the man, and that still goes on.
Now you've been looking after Anne Wills for many years.
Yeah.
How's your relationship with her?
Anne's my mate. I love Anne, and she is, and I've said it before, she's the most generous. People don't know her for who she is. She should have a nose up, but she's not. She's the nicest, most generous, and the stuff. And you know this, Jethro. And the things she does for the little man, and people you don't know. She's just a lovely, lovely woman. I won't have a bad word said about Anne in any way, shape, or form.
You went to the Oscars with her?
Yeah, she took me to the Oscars.
What was it like?
Well, it took her 4 years to get me a ticket, and because you just can't get a ticket to the Oscars. And it was funny because about, I'd say, 30 to 50,000 people, Americans, watch you going, and they build these things called bleachers.
Yeah.
And we were in the limo, and the only reason she got me in is because she knows the guy that runs it. And he got us, and you're allowed to take cameras, and you're allowed to take a photo in there. But he organised, we actually got photos taken inside by their people. You weren't allowed to take your own phone. But as we got out of the car, Spook Daddy was in front of us and Jack Nicholls was behind us. And Anne said, the Americans are a bit stupid, they'll think you're someone. Right? I had the Hugo Boss and got out, and they were yelling out, and we saw I was waving back from them. Anyway, there's an interesting story there. We were on the second level, and I kept saying to Anne, could you see people out of context? Who's that guy? And when they tell, who's that guy? You know, because they're out of context.
Yeah.
At half time, this is a true story, and Anne will back this up. There's a big room, the marble ballroom at the Kodak Theatre, which they built for the Academy Award, and you go out and you get a cigarette. And the security was unbelievable. They took everything away from you because they were underpants. You know, you couldn't do anything, right? So I went out this room when I used to smoke, and as I walked out this door, this big blonde girl walked up to the door. She'd be 6 foot and bare feet, and Anne was already out there. And I opened the door for her and I said, you know, go through. She said, no, you go through. I said, no, you go through. I said, you know, and we had a little tete-a-tete. I said, go through. We were joking around, and she was grinning, and I was looking in her eyes and whatever. Anyhow, after about 15, 20 seconds, and we were keen at each other. I didn't know who she was. She obviously didn't know who I was. And as we walked through the door, she went that way, and I went this way over to Anne. And as I started to walk, I thought, just have a look back. And although I did, she did. And we had another grin and laugh. I went over to Anne, and I said, see that blonde girl over there? I said, I just had a tete-a-tete with her in the doorway. I said, I could actually go and, you know. She said, you fucking idiot. She said, that's Emma Thurman. And my son ripped into me. He said, Dad, you're a fucking idiot. I said, she's probably in Hollywood right now saying, I met Terry Linblom. This is a true story. There's a guy here in Adelaide, I'm not going to mention his name. And he's a head wagger. This is going back to the first or second Grand Prix. And then when the first one was over, and everyone was in at the Hyatt, in the nightclub there, and someone was there. And this guy, I don't know, he got in, he was there with a couple of his mates. And he had money, he had the white suit on with the white pants, and he was a good looking bloke. And he was waiting for his chance to go and sail out to Elle, right? And Elle's doing 100 miles an hour talking to someone, and he finally got enough drink up and enough energy to come up, and Elle's talking to someone straight ahead like this, and he appeared there and he said, g'day. And she didn't even blink, she said, fuck off. Went straight back to a conversation. She didn't mean to bitch, fuck off. Went straight back to a conversation. Can you imagine how many people approach Elle McPherson? Give me a break.
Yeah.
You know?
I could imagine.
His mates were on the floor laughing. She didn't even look, fuck
Not
off.
bad.
Went on with the conversation. Yeah.
Now, on the other end of the scale, completely different to those types of people, Chopper.
Great bloke.
You were great mates with Chopper.
Well, he started looking after Chopper when he was about 48. And he was happily married to Margaret, who's a lovely, lovely girl. Nothing, you know, people think, oh, because she's married to Chopper Reed, she's the nicest, straightest lady you ever met. And Mark, when I met him, you know, he's obviously stopped what he was doing.
Being a professional criminal.
Yeah. Well, mainly he actually, as you know, he attacked criminals. He didn't attack squareheads like us. He'd go after them. But he was very good. He used to stay at my place 6 months a year for a week a month, because we're doing tours. He got up every morning and made his bed. 23 years in jail, what would you do?
Yeah.
And he was compliant with everything. I said, we're going now, mate, we're going to do this. Can you talk to this radio station? You do that? No worries. Strange character. If you pulled up at the lights, you go to sleep in the car. At the lights, like sound asleep in a second.
Is that right?
I'd sound asleep, and out like a cold.
You became pretty close, didn't you?
Yeah, quite Shakespeare. He was an intelligent bloke, but he suffered from autism, slight autism.
Really?
He had a pretty ordinary upbringing. But he was good to me. I can't say anything bad about him. He was very generous. He did say to me one night, we were sitting up late, and we used to do door deals, and I was counting money, and he was sitting next to me, and we were just talking. We were just chatting away, and I said, would you kill anybody? And I don't know if he was joking or serious. I said, would you kill anybody these days? He said, no, he's not married with kids. He said, the money was there. I said, well, who wouldn't you kill? He said, I wouldn't kill my wife and kids. I said, would you kill me? He said, if the money was there. I thought, shit, he's going to pay $100,000 to have me killed, you know, if the money was there. That's a true story. And it was a Wednesday night, and the only place that was open those days was Jopton's, the old Heaven, when, years ago, and I'm going 25 years ago. And the bouncers at Heaven those days were a bit ordinary, right? I had an argument with one there last time I was there, and I said, oh, do we have to go there? I said, you know, the bouncers are paying the house owner, and they said, well, there's nowhere else to go, we're just going to Jopton's. So we pulled up in the car park, and Chop went back in the four-wheel drive, the Range Rover. I thought he was getting his coat, right? And I went in the back, and he's got the thing up where the tyre wheel is, and he's getting out a tyre iron. I said, and he started to put it up. I said, what are you doing? He said, show me these bouncers. I said, well, hold on a fucking second. He's going to put an iron bar up there, just go and give a few a clip in the crowd. I said, no, because that's what sort of made him. I said, no, I don't do that sort of shit. I was just saying I don't really keen on the bouncers. Just to go and start. He was just going to walk through the crowd, and you think about it, he was pretty cunning. You wouldn't know, would you? Whack, whack.
How did Chopper feel about the film?
Was I being rude?
He didn't mind it. There was a lot of stuff there that happened. Like he never punched a woman. He never done all that stuff. That wasn't his go. I know. No. But he spent, and they did all that thing, and he wanted, I think it was $500,000, but he was going to give it to the Children's Hospital or something. I don't think he got anything. And they didn't invite him to the opening because they thought it wasn't fitting. How bad is that?
Yeah, not very respectful. Football and sportsmen.
Yep.
You've been amongst them a lot.
Yeah.
How did they come about?
Well,
Just from representation?
yeah, and you get to know them, you ring up, you get to know one, you get to know another, and you start bringing them over. I started using the local guys first, and it all goes hand in hand with entertainment. As you know, I was used to be, and I'm a bit ashamed of being his friend for 25 years. I was a good mate of Jacko's, Mark Jackson.
I'm an individual, you can't fool me. An in the bloody visual, you can't fool me. A genuine original, you can't fool me. I keep an open mind, cause I'm thinking all the time.
I was the godfather to one of his children. I was the best man at his wedding. His ex-wife is in Adelaide right now, and she's lovely, and we're still friends. But I haven't had anything to do with Mark for 15 years, and I'll never have to do with him again. He burnt too many people, and he burnt me, and he was one of my good mates. I'm a bit embarrassed about it.
That must hurt.
It did, because I thought he was. I thought he had a bad side, but he had a good side. But the good side was an act, obviously. And he's burnt a lot of people, and I was, and especially my brother Kevin. He burnt Kevin, and that was a piece of resistance. Kevin, later, the year after, we had this big bloke who got cancer and was dying. And Kevin said to me, "Don't do it again." I said, "I won't. I never have. I won't."
Sam Newman.
Fantastic bloke, nicest man in the world, most generous, brave, funny, very generous, terrific bloke, Sam. If you knew Sam and you knew his friends, you wouldn't meet. He's the standout man I've met in my life.
You two are as thick as thieves, yeah, aren't you?
Not so much now, but his calmness with life and his intelligence with life is outstanding, more than any one of them. Sam's had the prostate operation. We did 6 weeks in Europe and came back. And when we got back, for some reason, Sam gave up drinking. That's when I took the anvil. He took his girl with him, and I took the anvil. And when we got back, he stopped drinking. And I said, why? He said, no, he just thought I'd give up drinking. And he just stopped. He hasn't had a drink since.
Is that right?
So he's had a prostate operation. He's given up drinking. Sort of taken a bit of
the fun out of the game.
I've lost my playmate.
He's been in the news a bit lately, hasn't he?
Why?
For announcing leaving footy show?
Yeah, no, he's not leaving.
He's not?
As Sam said on the radio, and he said to me several times, he said, people read what they want to read. What he said was, they're not sure of the footy show because Channel 9 hasn't said anything yet, whether it's going ahead next year, and he couldn't do this on the grand final show. So what he said was, if we aren't here next year, I'm saying goodbye for everybody now because he's the longest one on the show. Even Eddie had time out. And it's the longest running show in the television history. Hey Hey at Saturday went about the same time, but it started on a Saturday morning and then went to
transition to Saturday nights.
In their time slot, they're the longest show in the history of television.
So the media's just taken that one comment out of context and run with it for headlines all over the country.
Yeah, I've had 40 phone calls on it. The other thing is, Eddie owns the show now, and I'm sure they'll come back. If it's not the footy show, they'll come up with a new concept next year. I'm positive of it. Eddie's pretty sharp, pretty smart. He knows what he's doing.
He is. Have you had much to do with Eddie McGuire?
In the old days, I knew Eddie quite well. He's a good bloke, Eddie. You got to admire anyone, and that's why he loves Sam so much. Because Sam, when he was a young bloke, took him under his wing. He was about 22. He had trouble getting nightclubs because Eddie apparently would go to the opening of the envelope. Sam sort of took him under his wing and took him into places, and Eddie hasn't forgotten that.
Is that right?
Sam's a terrific bloke. If you knew Sam's friends and you think, oh, they're going to be all high flyers, all he's a mate of Shane Warne and all those guys. But at his 70th birthday, the majority of people are just good people. Like his best mate's Des, Kevin. They're down soul of the earth people. They're good people.
Tell me, with your vast experience with celebrities and superstars, have you found that the bigger they are, the nicer they are?
Who told you that? Who told you
so that's a bit of a fallacy?
No, some of them are all right, but the problem with this business that I'm in is ego. We've all got it. You can't say we haven't got ego. But, I've had some rip roars over the years. I'm not going to mention names because I can't. I can't. But I've mouth-dropping stuff. Some of the things that people do.
Live music here in Adelaide. Is it tougher nowadays to get live bands booked?
Well, it's tougher. The situation is that the gaming actually helped us for a while because people worked. But what's going on now is there's a lot of people out there running around. We've still got the good musos. We always produce good musos in Adelaide. Adelaide and Perth produce really good musos. And that's proven by with the bands who come out of this town, from the Glenn Shorrocks through to Johnny Farnham's, yada yada, Joel Chisel.
Exactly.
The problem now is, and I'm not being old-fashioned, but in the older days, go back 20 years ago, you had light and shade. Like there was lots of music on the radio that was different, but it was current. It was good. Like it'd go from anything from Earth, Wind and Fire to Stevie Wonder. Do you know what I mean? It was a mixture. If you listen to the majority of the music on the radio these days, everyone sounds like everybody else. I'm not being old-fashioned.
No, I agree.
All the women sound like each other. You get an exception, everything like Adele and people like that, but all of them sound this wimpy, and all the hotels now have got a duo or whatever in there playing, they're blinging away, and they all sound the same. You can't tell me when a song stops and another song starts. Whereas, you put a group into a hotel, a duo, that plays everything from the 70s for the current, everyone's happy. All the kids know their old music. The old people don't know the new music. So they're pushing the stuff down the throat. A lot of the hoteliers these days are young people now. They want to hear what they want to hear. It's not about us, it's about the general public. That's caused a few problems. And there's a few agents out there that don't know music. They've never been involved in music, they don't know about music. And a lot of the people don't know what they're doing. No, it's not good. Look at Uber. Well, you can Uber anything you want these days. You can do anything you want at home. Why would you go out? And it's cheaper. And the Uber's sending restaurants bankrupt. A couple of restaurants have gone bankrupt in O'Connell Street because the money they've got to pay out and they've got to be in it to win it. They're not making any money. So they've actually walked away from their businesses.
Anyone entering the entertainment industry these days, what advice would you have for them?
Seriously? Well, it's a bit like prize fighting, isn't it? It's at least in entertainment, you're not going to end up talking like this. But if you take the right drugs, you can end up talking like that. I don't know. You've got to follow your dreams, don't you? And if my kids wanted to go into show business, I'd say then my son's tried to stand up, he did quite well. You can't stop people, but get out of your system. But it's a bit like that, isn't it? Like boxing. How many make it?
Yeah.
You know? And you know yourself, Jethro, and get the shit kicked out of you for 20 years and get nowhere.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of Tales of a City. I'll be back next Monday night at 9:30 with another great tale from another great city. But if you'd like to catch up with me or send me a message, just go to www.facebook.com/Tales of a City and leave a message and we'll get back to you. In the meantime, we'll see you next week.